Sue, I managed to get one of the, the event codes I was after today. It was a bit of a madhouse. I was initially not sure about these reports, but now I can verify them. But not today. Today, while many people are picking up everything from Sonic Racing Cross Worlds to EA Football Club 26 or anything else, I thought I would talk about how a couple well, titles that just went live on GBA Classics on Switch Online and help illustrate why the visuals of a lot of modern titles don't bother me when I play them in ones like this that came out in both cases over 20 years ago, almost 25 in one case. So let's talk about two titles from Namco to celebrate the anniversary between them and Bandai this year. Let's begin. So let's start with Mr. Driller 2, the cult classic sequel to the first cult classic Mr. Driller, which saw its Game Boy Advance port debut in the US in the year 2005, which is interesting. I mean, even though I never owned it at the time, I definitely enjoyed playing it, as I recall. And most other people seem to have a similar sentiment, even though by that time the DS was taking up the lion's share of attention, as was the PSP, depending on which one you owned. I was one of the people who at one time owned both. It is definitely a, another entertaining for Susumu and their rival Anna trying to solve a series of underground puzzles, also keeping an eye on the auction supply in an attempt to reach the king of the underground. Yes, it's a pretty silly premise when you break it down, and I may not put this on the same pedestal as Tetris, as especially I reiterate, I'm one of those guys that sees tetrominoes in any four-cornered surface I can look at, be it my screen or my posters. There's, it is still addictive and entertaining. Like if you don't make to the end of the goal each time, you're definitely encouraged to learn more and more and figure out which patterns to get all your auction levels in check. I mean, you obviously cannot just drill straight down every single time. I'll say that much. It's definitely worth playing, as is the other title I will be talking about here. Klonoa Empire Dreams, a game which takes place between the events of the first game, Door to Phantom Isle, and the second game, Lunatea's Veil, and has elements of gameplay from them both. Both with the implication that the events of the first game totally happened, and Klonoa just put on his outfit from the second, including his hat, which has like a Pac-Man deck on it, like Happy Anniversary to Pac there. And when he's just lying in bed one night, he's accosted by a king who has been riddled with insomnia and in his haste has outlawed the act of dreaming. So uh, Klonoa, of course, proposes is this idea of a clemency. If he can help restore more people's dreams and cure the king's insomnia, uh, he will be let go, which he agrees to. It's a simple but effective premise that fits the tone of the other two games fairly well. Like, and while Klonoa has never enjoyed the biggest pedestal in pop culture, he does have a cult following, and I was at least aware of the game's existence. I was reading it in a few magazines I had at the time. I'm I'm like it definitely got some decent coverage and stuff like EGM, Nintendo Power, or but I never actually owned it at the time, even though I just got my Game Boy Advance in my hands during this launch year. Though, given the release date when it came out in the US, I cannot say I'm surprised. It affected a lot of video games, other pop culture that day in September, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. Though I may though the game may not be a full-on recreation of the visual presentation, the main console installments, where the characters are rendered in 3D, but they all move on a 2D plane, and they do a similar kind of approach, which to accommodate the Game Boy Advance's design, which, even though it had 32-bit processor, or in many ways, it was played like a 16-bit machine with more juice, which is why there's so many ports of Super Nintendo games on there, and why I have come to really appreciate SNES. Having played all those titles on GBA, enjoyed them so much, I actually went back and played them on SNES, man. And with that in mind, where everything's in 2D, there's still some pretty neat tricks with depth and level design and boss encounters that to recreate sort of like a 3D effect there. I mean, with Klonoa and his partner, her, I, I definitely, I still, his partners are quite useful in solving puzzles, and I definitely enjoy a the approach and how it's definitely the Hugh Pow, that's the one. That's the one that's attached to his ring, and depending on what you do, it can use a weapon to use reverse gaps, and a lot of it is timing your jumps and to know where to place certain items. All of it can be tricky. I'm on the last world, and there's at least 5 of them broken up to a series of stages, along with a couple of bonus stages where one involves a surfboard, another involves Klonoa trying to avoid falling off the screen or getting crushed between walls as he grabs a treasure. But it is definitely a very entertaining game and one I've played quite a bit already. Eddie, I mean, yes, I'm one of those kind of guys that I'll discover a game, aim on my Switch Online apps, and then end up being close to beating it by the time I talk about it. So, if you have this tier of Switch Online, these games are definitely worth checking out. I mean, whether you have played them before, or in my case, have not checked them out in ages, or more than likely just playing them for the first time, I definitely think you'll enjoy yourself. Anyway, I didn't quite get as much done with my stuff as I'd hoped. But I did get at least 2 of the scripts of videos I want to have out for the first few days when I'm recovering from my dental surgery. A, and one more is almost done. There'll be something a way to lead off me taking part in Bat Month again, like I did last year. I got a good response from that, and also for have some ideas in mind for Scooptober as well, as the day before. I definitely doing a slight schedule. I mean, like, I'm going to do my best to write my main scripts for Ultimate Journeys, and I'm still thinking I'll be starting my full reviews of each arc of Pokemon Horizons in 2026. I mean, I don't see a Mega Voltage being dubbed before then at the earliest. I mean, as though given and the device reception of Mega Voltage, including people seeing the finale's bit of an anticlimax, I can't say I blame them. And I will have something to make up for it, though. Oh, just so we can see what it is though. That'll be all for now, and I'll see you all again soon. So take care, everyone.